Let's see if it will work. Yep. Oh my God.
You get to the drum part yet? Pretty sexy.
If you're a woman expert between the age of 40 and 70, tell her.
I'm sorry I didn't see the beginning because I was cutting and pasting. She's got a dilemma. She was hypnotized by a strange pyramid. Oh, and then she started seeing all of this. Oh, I see.
So basically, if you want the story behind this,
Yeah.
this is a collaboration. I'm playing all the woodwinds and any synthesize keyboard parts. But what I'm playing to is a really good friend of mine, Brock Avery, who is back in the Berkeley days back there. He played in a band called Fly By Night that was playing all the clubs when my band Booga Booga was playing in the clubs too. And he was roommates with the drummer in my band, Rodney Smith. And so I never really played with Brock a lot then, but I met him out here. He had moved out here, and we would do jam sessions. Started getting into doing just he and I doing like free-form duets with me on whatever woodwind I was playing and him on drums. And he has really some crazy drums and stuff too. So I got this idea. I said, hey, I want to write some music to your improvised drum solos. I want you to just come over to my place and I'll record you just do like 4 or 5 minute long drum solos of whatever you want. And I'm going to try and write music to that. And so I ended up doing like an album and 3 EPs because so we did. Yeah. And so now we're kind of working on a thing. Hold on. We're working on a thing. Are you there? There you go. Okay. I'm working on a project where I'm playing 50, that's 50 woodwinds. And now it's the other way around. I'm writing these pieces. They're not only one piece is an improvisation. They're all compositions, but with a giant woodwind kind of orchestra from piccolos to contrabassoons I'm playing. And then so I kind of mix all those parts and I give them to him, and he's playing drums over that stuff now and calling me up and yelling at me for writing hard stuff to play. But so that was the whole thing with that is I got this idea because I saw a Keith Jarrett concert years back, and Jack DeJohnette was doing this drum solo, and it was just so musical. And I was like, wow, I'd love to write music to what he played there, And so I've had that idea. I'd had it for a few years, and Brock is one of these guys. He's really creative and just, I mean, if you can imagine that whole thing was just a drum solo he played. And then so I had to take it and listen to it over and over. He's like, how much did you listen to it? I was like, oh, weeks, man. I mean, each one of these pieces took me a couple of weeks to compose. And
that's so interesting. And I can't help imagine what his perception of it was like. Did he feel like, oh, that's, like when he was listening to the music, did he feel like that's what I played? Or
well, it was what he played, because it's there, but he seemed very excited about what I had done with they're not. I really like that one. That one just kind of fell into place. I just got this da doo da, melody, and I said, I'm just going to use this and just mess with it for a few minutes here. And it just, the way he was playing on wood blocks and different things, and I was like, this one's really kind of cartoonish. So although people say I write cartoon jazz, so I guess.
Yeah, there was one I heard from your site. I can't remember the name of it. We'll look at it in the next, next bunch of time. But what is his name?
Brock Avery.
Brock Avery.
Avery. Avery.
Where does he live?
He's in over on York Street there. I don't know what that area is called.
Highland like Park, Pasadena, maybe. Highland Park.
Yeah. It's Funkyville, but I like
that.
Yeah.
I don't think I know his name, but he's lived here a long time, right?
He's very eclectic. He plays with a lot of free groups and stuff, and
maybe I know his face because I do hang out with the free music crowd,
Yeah.
And I go hear them, because there's what is it called? It's actually tonight in Sunland. That little place in Sunland.
Where Brad Dutz.
Yeah.
From time to time. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and actually, Brad moved to Washington, but he was in
Oh,
my
he
band.
did? Wow.
Yeah.
I love him. Great
Oh
player.
God, he's so
He played
great.
on I did a big band album that Peter Erskine played
Oh,
drums on, and Brad came in afterwards and laid down a bunch of
he's
percussion.
amazing. He's kind
Oh,
of a
he's
genius guy.
really, yeah.
He and Chris Wabich, do you know him, the drummer?
I know who he is.
So
I'm
they played a lot together in hysterical, creations. And so Chris has kind of taken over for me for Brad because there's really nobody like Brad. So Chris is a close second. And like I have this group that I had with Brad and Gary Fukushima on keyboard, no bass player, Chuck Manning on sax. I had Jeff Richmond on guitar, but he is no longer able to play. So I have
Oh,
Brett.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has Parkinson's.
Oh, my dad had that.
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
it is. And he's been a friend of mine since we went to Berkeley together.
Okay.
Um, so, but anyway, so now Chris is playing.
Okay.
And actually on June 25th, we're playing at the club that I'm running. Did I tell you
Yeah,
about?
that
Yeah.
Birds of a Feather.
Yeah, so we're gonna play if you're free, come by. But yeah, so about once a year or 2 years, the moment we call the moment. We recorded live at the Blue Whale. So about once a year we played again, and it's really
great.
fun. Yeah, it's great. But anyway, sorry. Getting back to Brock, his name sounds vaguely familiar. I have to check him out.
What years were you in Boston?
Well, first of all, I'm from Boston, but then I went to
Oh, okay.
Berkeley from 72 to 75,
Okay.
mid
So
75.
I just missed you because I started in 76.
Oh,
And I think Brock came there around 77 or so. But like I said, I never really played with Brock. I always talk to him when I go
Oh.
pick up Rodney for gigs. And there's like two drummers as roommates. What a nightmare. Like they're both banging away at the same time. But
that's where I discovered Bob Moses, not in Berkeley, but at that time.
Brock studied with Bob and
Wow.
played in one of his bands or something. Yeah.
I mean, that
I love
totally.
it. I had one of those nights at the Jazz Workshop. It was Hal Galper's group
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Michael Brecker and Bob Moses on drum. And Michael started doing one of his incredible like free cadenzas, but it was like it broke down, the rhythm section all kind of stopped and Brecker kept playing and Bob kept playing. So it was this drum sax duet. And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, this is the most intense thing. At one point, Bob just starts standing up and he's like yelling, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen next?
Oh God, that is so cool.
Yeah, I love Moses.
Me too, man. I had come up with my dad was a sax player, so I had come up in very straight ahead jazz type
Right.
stuff, and and then I got to I went through the Woodstock period and all that in high school, and then I got to college and I heard Weather Report and Bob Moses and ECM, and it was that totally blew my head.
That whole fusion era.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. That was like, this is my music.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love odd meters. And
Yeah.
I love just the textures. I mean, I remember, I saw, Chick and Weather Report,
Yeah.
Vishnu Orchestra.
Yeah, it was so great. I interviewed Flora a few years ago, and of course, I was listening to that, right? But I never fully realized until I interviewed her that she was like the first singer who did, who stepped into that realm. Yeah.
There was, with the Return to Forever, the light, the Lights of Feather, was that the album? God, my memory.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Yeah.
Well, I didn't even introduce you. I'm sorry. And is it Macchia or Macchia?
Macchia.
Macchia. Frank Macchia, we were laughing about there's two other guys kind of in the public realm, Frank Macchia. One is a preacher who's very pleasant, and one is
An
something
architect
else. An architect who's
in Australia, I guess.
not he's kind of indignant that Frank has his name and that he gets messages for Frank. But
Yeah.
anyway.
I apologize to him. There's not much I can do about it.
Yeah, so now on your site, the music,
Yeah,
I could go and
By the
look
way,
at that.
that site is really like, I need to update it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I'm just like I'm in a semi-retired mode, so I don't like do a lot of pushing.
Oh, I wish I was that. I keep trying to do that, and then like I'll empty out time, and then something will come in and go, "Hey, you want to do me?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I do." But so it wasn't per se the cartoon music, right? That I
Right.
heard on the web, but it was pretty amusing,
Oh,
as I
good.
recall. Yeah.
I like having a lot of humor in my music.
Well, it was amusing as I recall, and really beautiful. And and oh, by the way, so Mike Hatfield was our connection, and
Right.
so in Berkeley, Mike was in my group. I
Right.
probably told you this already because we spoke on the phone, but
Well, and Mike told me as well.
yeah.
Mike for years it's been like, do you know Cathy? And I'm like, well, I know who she is, but it's like we just never seem to run in the same circles. And he's like, oh man, you got to meet her. She does this thing with like interviewing people, and you'd be great. I'm like, why? So anyway.
Do you, I mean, would you ever consider coming and playing out, like playing at the club? I mean, it's a small club.
Yeah.
It would be an intimate kind of a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I haven't done any. I mean, I get together with Brock and another friend, a guitarist, Eric Jensen, who we do free trio stuff. But I haven't played like straight ahead stuff in a while. So it'd be like, oh, I got to figure out. Yeah, what are the changes to Stella again?
Well, you could do what you want. You could do
okay.
free, I mean,
Okay.
we don't limit that kind of stuff. And tonight, by the way, just to let you know, did I have a text about that? Let me just see, because I don't know where you live, but anyway.
I'm in Burbank.
Oh, you really might want to come over to to the Sun Space because it's going to be great. Let me see. Oh, yeah. So this series is called Vernacular. I don't know if you know about this series. It's a free series.
No.
And yeah.
And
So
where's it at?
it's called Sun Space.
Oh, the Sun Space thing. Yeah.
It's on Sunland Boulevard, but Vinny Golia is playing.
Oh yeah, I know Vinny.
Yeah, and did you ever know Ken Filiano, the bass player?
No, I do not know him.
Fabulous. He lives in New York, but he used to live here. So he and Vinny are doing something. And then Rosenblum, who is that? Billy Mahler, and Tina Raymond. So they're sharing the night. It's going to be really, really great. You would love it. It's from 8 to 10.
That's tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sunland, it's really close.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah. It's a very tiny place, and
it's called Sun Space.
Sun Space.
In fact,
yeah.
I remember years ago I was going to see. There's that group that Cecily Gardner had, and it was an all vocal group. Are you doing that one?
That's my group, or our
group. Well,
Fish to Birds.
You guys were playing at Sun Space. And I was like, oh, I get to do it, and something came up, and I couldn't go, and I was like, because I was threatening to see her.
So first of all, it's 9685 Sunland Boulevard, just so you know, 9685 Sunland Boulevard. we must have talked about Cecily. You know, she cracks me up. She knows everybody. I
Yeah.
thought I knew everybody, but anytime I'm with her and we bump into somebody, she's, oh, I remember you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Christ, man. So how do you know Cecily?
From when I was after I was in Boston, I moved back to San Francisco, which was my hometown.
Oh,
And I
okay.
started, gigging there, just, playing good old casuals and jazz and shows, whatever I can get work doing.
Yeah.
And I met Cecily on casual gigs. We were, and I was like, hey, you're a good singer. Hey, yeah. And so she got really busy there at one point doing they have these boat cruises that go out, like jazz boat cruises or whatever, just background music, whatever. And so you go out in a boat and you make a couple $100, whatever. And it's like, and so we did a bunch of those and stuff. And yeah, and so yeah, I pretty much was making my living up there just as a player, because there's no like kind of arranging and orchestrating work up there per se, really. That not enough for me to stay employed with. So, which is why I moved to LA. But that's where I met Cecily, and we both kind of moved down at a similar time,
Oh,
right around 91 or so, I think. Yeah, so. And we kind of felt, because she's over or at least she was over in Venice.
She's in Culver City.
Okay, and
Yeah.
it's just like we just never see each other, because it's like, yeah, we got to do that, and then we just, you know.
She's actually so okay. So this is kind of unusual, but next week, well, Sunday and Thursday, I have these two gigs at the club, and Thursday is the moment. I told you about that, but Sunday, I've never done this before, but I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. So I've written about, I don't know, almost close to 100 songs. And so
Cool.
I decided to have 12 of my friends sing my songs. So Sunday night, I have 12 of my friends, and Cecily is one of them,
Oh,
and
great!
sing my
That's
songs.
this
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah, this Sunday. So anyway, it's I hardly do that, but like just I try not to book myself in the club too much because I just rather book other people, And
Yeah,
but anyway, it just worked out. So, but yeah, Cecily, I just texted her and told her that I'm interviewing you. So,
and she's like, "Who?"
did you know that she lived in a tree for a
I
while?
remember hearing about that. Yeah,
A tree house, man. What a hippie.
yeah. No, she's a trip. She's a great person.
She's a great person. So, let's see. So you went to Berkeley. So it sounds like you're a little younger than I am, and you're from San Francisco. You went to Berkeley, and did you do the whole whatever? How many years
I
there at
did,
Berkeley?
yeah. I wanted to leave and move to New York in my third year. And my dad, who was, a businessman, not in the arts at all, he was like, oh no, you got to get that degree, And I'm like, Dad, for what the kind of music I'm doing, whatever, a degree doesn't mean anything. I'm not, I don't want to teach or, teach college or anything. And that's the only time you need a degree. And it's really making connections with people, other musicians. And if I go to New York, I could study with Don Sebesky arranging and stuff.
Yeah,
And I could
yeah,
study, maybe get some lessons with Mike Brecker and who, other heavy guys that are there. And he's
yeah,
like, no, and I mean, I wasn't even 18 when I started Berkeley, so I was only like 19 at that point. And he was like,
yeah,
you gotta finish and get your degree. You're not gonna like be a quitter. I'm like, it's not about being a quitter. It's about trying to get further quicker. And so I didn't do that. And instead I moved back to the Bay Area after I finished up at Berkeley. I went there. I got through it in 3.5 years because I just went through the summers as
yeah,
well. And
yeah.
then I taught there for a year, teaching
Oh,
arranging and
yeah.
harmony. And One of my teachers I had there, Phil Wilson,
Yeah.
like really got down on me. He's like, Frank, you got to get out of here. You got, you're don't you know you're too young to be just teaching at a school at this point. You need to like do other stuff. Get out there and make
Yeah.
a life for yourself outside of this environment. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I moved back to the Bay Area and I got a driving job. And I was driving around the Bay Area delivering the photos and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, thanks, Phil. But it was good. I mean, I eventually started getting gigs. I ended up doing a cruise ship gig for half a year that took us all over Europe and started in the Caribbean. Mike Hatfield was on that, and a few other friends from the Bay Area that were out there. Mike came out to the Bay Area because I was like, I'm going to go start a band out in San Francisco, and that poor sucker, he followed me out there and played in clubs, and people were like, this is weird ass music. I'm like, yeah, don't you love it? Yeah. But anyway, it was, I was like 20 years old at that point. And it was just, you're just starting out. I look back fondly, but
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I should have made some better choices.
So you didn't go to New York at all?
No.
It's funny because I get it because I came out here. No, yeah, I went to San Francisco first for about 6 months. Then I moved down here.
Uh,
I was going to go to New York, and then I met my first husband.
yeah.
So I've always contemplated, I have friends like Ken Filiano, who's here, and his wife, Andrea Wolper. I mean, if I ended up in New York, I'd be the same me, but different friends and different
Yeah.
tie-ins. And I don't know if you think this, but I had a really good friend who lived in New York, and she was a singer, like very similar to me. And what I observed was New York had this big wheel turning, and the
Yeah.
challenge was to jump on the wheel. And LA has no wheel turning, and the challenge is to build it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I got into. I got into building, and
Yeah.
that's kind of my life. But she had a lot of great experiences with a lot of high level people, Michael Brecker, and people like
Yeah.
that. And yeah, but I mean, obviously, you look back at your life and you're like, yeah, well,
I
it's
did
fine.
what I did,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you moved to LA, and then I guess, well,
Well, what
obviously,
brought me to LA actually was that uh, a woman that I was dating in the Bay Area, she in 1990, she got a chance to go do this like, I don't know, 6 8 month gig in Guam as a singer in this like Vegas like resort they had. It was like, 8 shows a week kind of thing. And she's like, great, I'm going to go do that. We were playing casual gigs and stuff, and she was singing on those, but she really had wanted to be an actress. And so she went there, and I was, I was like, well, have fun there. And so this is, I hope not too long a story, but I went out to visit her after a couple of months, like during a Christmas break or something.
yeah.
And while I was there, she had this thing where she's like, oh, I can't see out of my left eye. Like and I was like, well, she's like, well, this is my day off. It was a Monday. Let's go to the beach. It's beautiful, And I'm like, I think you need to see somebody about that. So we went and saw on the island of Guam, like the only optometrist or whatever that was there. And he was like, you've got to detach your retina, and there's no one here to do the surgery on that. And the only person is a medical doctor who's in the army, because there's army bases there. And he said he's gone for 6 weeks, like some other island doing other stuff. And so we had to fly back to San Francisco, and she got the surgery. And after she got healed from that, she's like, I got to move to LA because I can't, the San Francisco scene. If I want to pursue acting, it's just not there's just not the work in San Francisco. So she went, and I was like, I don't want to go to LA. That's where all all they care about is what kind of car you drive. And so I went. Instead, within a month, I got a call to go to Germany and play shows, like theater shows. It was called New York, Broadway in Germany or something. And we started in Munich, and then I went to Cologne and then Hamburg. And it was like a 6-month tour doing shows. And in the meantime, we were like racking up bills, on phone talking. And so she gave me an offer I couldn't refuse when the thing ended in Germany. I said, well, let me fly back to LA and hang out with you for a bit. And so while I was there with her, she's like, look, I got this little studio apartment. You could stay here with me. And, I've got a part-time day job as a legal secretary. So you can, make your contacts and stuff and see if you can, it's like, you don't even have to pay rent. I've got the rent covered. So you can do that for a while. I said, well, after 6 months, I'm paying rent and but give me 6 months. And so I would just cold call people every day. I had a list.
God bless you, man. That's great. I love that.
I hate that, because I'm like some incredible people like Dan Higgins, who's first call studio sax woodwind player. He was one of I'll call Dan Higgins. And, I talked to him and he was just great. And he's like, well, look, here's, you want to get in with composers because composers can say, I want this guy on my thing. And I was like, oh, okay. But other guys who I won't name were like, great, just what we need, another goddamn sax player in town. And I'm like, sorry, but I'm looking for work, But what I was primarily trying to get was more writing work because I was always known as a composer and arranger. And, playing sax and woodwinds is something I like doing, but I can't don't put the time in that the really good guys put in, because I'm too busy coming up with ideas for music that I want.
Well, also Phil Wilson. One of the best, right? That's who you studied with. So, yeah.
Yeah. So so I came to LA. My wife of over 30 years now was kind of supported me the first year that I was making calls and just playing anything I could do. And I ended up, because for 10 years I'd been playing casual gigs in San Francisco, and that's the one thing there is a lot of work at in San Francisco is wedding gigs and parties and stuff. That it's a big town for conventions and all that. So I learned a boatload of tunes. I learned I've sang rock and roll tunes, and I just did whatever was needed, and I had those skills, but when I got to LA, I found that, there's this thing called music preparation, which is, like doing the parts for an orchestra session. And there were orchestra sessions going like 5 a day in LA when I moved down here. They've gotten a little less now, but but it was like, and I found myself first I got in an office proofreading where you're just reading the part to the score and making sure the copyist didn't screw it up. And then when the computer thing started taking over, which happened pretty quickly, I was like, I know these programs. And so now I'm a copyist and they make better bread. So that was good. And then I started getting in where people were like, we need somebody to, orchestrate this piece for the orchestra. And I'm like, I can do it if you want. And they're like, take it. We need it in 2 hours, So,
yeah. Wow.
So that was the deal. So that's what I got in with the Tonight Show thing, as we were talking about, is kind of like the
Yeah.
staff arranger where, it was always freelance. It wasn't like I had any kind of set thing, but it's like 1 week I could do 5 or 6 play-ons, and it was mostly play-ons is what I was doing. And then sometimes I go a couple of weeks without it and they wouldn't need anything,
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was doing that, working in these offices, orchestrating for some different composers, and then, still trying to make it as a film composer myself. But that ship never sailed for me. I mean, I did a few small films, nothing, worth mentioning really, but I did do some ghostwriting too on some big films, but I can't really talk about those. So anyway,
Right.
like lips are sealed. So, but yeah, there's some stuff out there where it's like, that was a pretty big scene, like 8 minutes of music that I did right at this big chase scene thing, and nobody knows. So I stopped doing that actually because it was like breaking my heart.
Yeah.
The composer would say, "Well, I'm on the contract, so you can't say you're doing this."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's kind of an interesting thing that happened, right? To ghostwriting. Yeah, it's kind of weird. By the way, Cecily popped on and said hi, and
hi.
So she remembers you. She said you're a fantastic composer, and that was an amazing story about your move to LA, and she has to go teach. I've interviewed a group of film composers. One of my dear friends is a film composer now, and man, that is a hard job too.
It's really hard. I mean, and they're getting less and less time. It's almost like I did work on this one show as a short-lived show called U.S. Customs Classified. That was like some syndicated show, and a friend of mine got the gig, and it was wall-to-wall music, 48, because an hour-long TV show at that point is like 48 minutes long without commercial breaks. And we literally had 48 minutes of music. They wanted music the entire time. And they would give us the cut of that we had to have the music ready for like 48 hours before the dub date. So they would give us the stuff, and I go like, okay, you're going from minute 0 to minute 30. I'm going from 30 to 60. And I went to my studio, he's in his, and we're just sequencing. There was no time for even live instruments. It was all synths and everything,
Wow.
And he joked at one point, he goes, I guess, this is the deal. They're going to get to a point where they give you 1 hour to write the music. That's an hour.
But then they change their minds too, right? Like they listen and then go, blah blah blah. You have to change that.
I've been involved with some of those things where some of those things I was like, I'm so glad I'm not a composer, because it is the thing of being a film composer. It's not like, unless you're like a heavy like John Williams, who can just go, here's the music, goodbye. If you don't like it, you can edit whatever you want, but this is what I'm doing, But for most everyone else, it's like you present a score. And that's the thing nowadays with all the technology, you can do a pretty impressive realization of a live orchestra with just some not even modules, like just a computer now, because it's all samples on the computer. And there's really some complex software and orchestrations to create that. So I've just been involved with a fair amount of big films where the director comes over and the composer's there, and he might have me like running the rig, like, okay, cue up the next piece here, and I got everything set up, and hey, play, and then they're talking about it, and I'm just quiet, and I just sit there, and the director can just go, no, that's not at all what I wanted, and it's not like they don't have a a spot, what they call a spotting session, where they spot the music and go, it should start here and it should do this. And they had that, and most literally every time I was like, I thought the music sounded great. What the composer wrote for that, and then, but they're like, no, 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 it needs a chime right there, or whatever they have, whatever idea they have, that it needs this here, or it needs to be faster, or this or that, and then they'd leave, and the composer, we got to come up with something else here, and so he'd do that, and to me, most of the times, I'm like, I like the first thing you did. That was really cool, but it's like, it's this, it's just, you're working together to create art in a way, and so you don't always get what you want, and that's where I think the magic with John Williams and Spielberg. I just saw Disclosure Day yesterday, and the music sounded great as always with John Williams, and it was like, but I know he just wrote, he and had the orchestra play it, and he's like, goodbye.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the spontaneity too, like that you were speaking of before about like writing with Brock,
Yeah.
there's a this has been on my radar lately, but just a coming through
Yeah.
and not over analyzing as it's coming through. That can be later, So
Right.
first, it's like you get into the space and you just go with the flow, and then you edit,
Edit.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean that's, as I said, it's on my radar lately, just in various things, not just music.
Right. Right.
I was
Kind of a
watching
life
this.
thing.
Yeah, and I was watching this guy who channels, and that's how
Oh,
he
wow.
channels. He channels, he just opens up, and then afterwards he listens. He's listening while he's channeling, but he's not making any decisions about it. Then afterwards he forgets what the, being or beings said. And
Really?
then, yeah, and then he'll
Wow.
read it afterwards, like a little ways after, because he doesn't really want to do it right after he channels. But it relates to life and music, of course, music and jazz, right? Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's such a intangible tangibleness, that is so great.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Just turns
Yeah.
me on so much, that
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah. Well, that's where I've started getting more and more into just this free music, where we just start playing, and it's like, but it's not a tune, but we're listening to each other, and we're bouncing off each other, and you know, who knows where it'll go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Last year I was getting together with a few people, rehearsing, or not rehearsing, but getting together with a percussionist who's very eclectic, Christopher Garcia, and that guy Brad Rebuchin on guitar. And yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
just,
Brad's great.
yeah, it's really fun. It's
Yeah.
great. I enjoy that. I mean, I love standards. I've done standards since I was born and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I've written music, and it's all good, but that is just so pure and
Yeah.
open,
Yeah. Yeah. I really love it, because it's like, it's kind of exciting, and sometimes it bombs, sometimes
Yeah.
it's like you do something and it'll be like, yeah, we weren't connecting there, were we?
Right, we were trying too hard or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
What would be hip here? No, no, no.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Hey, let's listen to something or watch
Oh,
something,
okay.
whatever. What do you think? I don't know. Should we? Have you recorded something free at all?
Actually, there's a few things with Brock that are on YouTube. We
Okay.
just hired a friend of mine who is a director, not director. He's a what do you call, cameraman or whatever, a film. Why am I losing the word? Anyway, director of photography kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And he does. Yeah, this is the one you played earlier. There's if you do a search for Frank Macchia, Brock, Avery, and
Yeah.
it could be a good.
Here's this one says Madness.
No, that's still more animated stuff. But a thing where we're actually playing together is just two of us. There's one called Something It Hurts.
Okay, That Hurt.
Okay, That Hurts. I think that
Okay.
one's pretty good. It's pretty weird. It's only about 4 minutes long.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. This
And if it
is
gets
too weird. I can just kind of die out
yeah,
slowly.
you can just fade out.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, That Hurt. It's funny. It's a funny title. That was great. So wow, that's and that was 5 minutes. I didn't even know. Um, Brock looks a little bit
Funny.
familiar. I loved that, and soprano. It just strikes me that soprano. I've heard Vinny play different instruments.
Yeah.
Doing what he does, and it always sounds great. But still, soprano sounds so good, doesn't it?
Oh, thank you. It's funny because my wife does not like soprano sax all that much, but she's like, but yours is okay. Yeah. So I would take that as a big compliment because like, yeah, she'll hear us go, it's just kind of irritating at times.
She's right. Somebody, I mean, there's different ways to play soprano. Definitely.
Yeah.
Intonation is not the least of it, but
Yeah.
but your sound is really good. It's very nice, and it really lends itself to that free
Yeah. And the other thing going on there is Brock has some rolling pads that he's got like weird samples and stuff because he also is really into synthesis, but not like coming up with it's like he's into like using these devices that just you turn knobs and it just changes. It's like filtering and whatever. So he had a thing going on there at one point because it's like at one point you might be going, I hear something weird going on electronically, like a like sound effect, and that's him. He'll be like hitting pads that are creating these like textures, and then we're kind of playing over those as well.
Yeah. It's really beautiful. It reminds me of what's his name? Stuart Leipzig? Is that his name? Anyway, I was just thinking of this bass player, and Ken Filiano and I were talking about this bass player because he's in that realm. He uses synthesizers, and it kind of opens this door, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah. I wonder if Brock has actually played for this guy who runs Vernacular, Daryl Tews, because Daryl's
he may. Brock also he plays with a group called Bishtek Wedding, and it's like I think it's like a 4-piece free band that they just it's just like they get together. One guy plays like electric cello. Another guy does keyboards, guitarist, and sax player and drummer. So I guess there's 5 of them, I think. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there is actually a substantial community in this kind of music here, but it's way not on the
radar. I've tried looking around for clubs and stuff, and I had thought of that Sun Space because because they seem to be more open to that. I mean, LA is weird for jazz and stuff. It's just
so the Open Gate Theater. Are you familiar with them?
Oh no.
Nels Klein and his brother started it. Nels and Alex.
What's it called?
The Open Gate Theater. It's not a location, it's a group.
Oh, okay.
But that's like this Daryl Tews thing. It's kind of a spin-off community of free music, and they kind of work around town at various places.
Okay.
And it's all these people, and they're so good. It's not like some clowns are doing free music. It's like really good,
Yeah.
But it's intriguing to me that community, it's actually a community, And like you say, jazz, jazz is always the lower rung, but I actually see, and maybe it's because I'm running this club that I get this feed on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, but I see a lot of places actually popping up, and
Oh,
which is
really?
exciting to me. It's like, wow, jazz is kind of stirring up and coming back, and places are opening, and
Yeah.
the Blue Note came, and I mean,
Right. Right.
the Blue
Yeah. The
Whale
Blue
is
Note and
kind of close.
yeah. Now? What happened with Blue Whale? Because I thought he was coming back, and
He
then,
is.
huh?
He's actually here rebuilding what. So he moved to his space to Atwater, but
Right.
yeah, and it's kind of like a sound stage. It's huge,
Oh,
and
wow.
so he has a large room that holds, I'd say, at least 200 people, and
Wow.
then a smaller room which maybe holds 75, 100 people, and then a separate restaurant and a separate bar so he can have people drinking and eating, and
Uh-huh.
the kids can come in to hear the music because it's separate. And he's been working on it, I think, for, I want to say, a year. He's been, it's like going very slow with licenses
Well,
and
is that the deal? Because it
yeah.
was like I heard it was like a year or two ago, like, oh, he's found a space and he's coming back, and I'm like, oh, this will be great. Maybe we can go get a gig there or something. And then it's like I haven't heard anything. So
Yeah,
he's
it's
working
just
on it.
it's
With
slow. It's really slow. He was actually my student. He's a singer,
really
but he doesn't really sing these days. But he's also a very kind of a free singer. Do you know Vardan of Sepian, the
no,
pianist? He's an Iranian pianist who's brilliant, and he's lived here a long time. And he's a great player. But anyway, they made a duo record once. But so yeah, so I keep in touch with June, and yeah, he's kind of brilliant. He sees, he's a path forger. He has all
yeah,
these ideas, and he's really a special person.
yeah. I right near the end when he had Blue Whale, I had given him. I had a kind of a weird funk band thing. It was like a six-piece funk band thing, or we were just doing lots of odd meter originals that I had written. And I brought him a CD and the thing, and he's like, "Yeah, this is great. We got to get a night and have you come in." And then it was like within a month or two, it was like they're closed or way like it all
Well, that
got.
was the pandemic.
Is that
That's
what it was?
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
He
yeah.
was
Well,
going up to the pandemic. Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Because, oh, that pandemic, man.
So the guy. Okay, so Rocco Samazi, who owned a space called Rocco's where Vibrato is now,
Okay.
and that was the only place in town at the time that was playing modern jazz.
Wow.
So then he sold it, and or got rid of it, whatever, stopped renting it or whatever he did. And then he actually moved to San Francisco and was working up there. And then when the Blue Whale started, he came down and was helping June with the music. And then I didn't realize it was this long, but for the last 20 years or so, he has been the founder of the LA, sorry, the Angel City Jazz Festival.
Oh,
Have you heard about that?
no.
See, this is mind blowing to me because I talked to him and I said, Rocco, this is ridiculous that not more people know about it. And he said, well, I publicize and I pay for advertising. Anyway, I nowadays like it happens once a year. Kind of happens at the end of the summer into fall, and I usually like will work for him. Like work the tables and stuff because
Uh-huh.
I want to help him. But he is tapped into a lot of this community, and
Oh,
and and they perform. It's like for a week, and they perform in different venues.
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And so this is a annual thing,
Yeah,
or
yeah, for the last 20 years.
wow. It's so weird.
I
It's like
know.
I think I've just, yeah, especially since the pandemic, I've just become like such a homebody, and I've just, I'm just working on my stuff, and so I don't know what's going on. you know.
Well, it always blows my mind. I always, I mean, I'm constantly thinking, okay, marketing is where it's at. Promotion and marketing is where it's at. And why do all those people who go to the Hollywood Bowl, why do they not know about me? I mean, just what I do, because I'm out there all the time, or any jazz, it's like
Yeah,
smaller jazz venues. What are they thinking? I go to the Blue Note, there's a shitload of people in there. Where are they? Are
yeah.
they only going to the Blue Note, or vibrato only? I don't know. It kind of screws my mind up. But I am about to really rev up my engines because I actually have a friend. He's a student of mine, and I've produced something for him. And he's a lawyer with his own law firm, and he's actually creating a business plan for the club, Birds of a Feather Jazz Lounge. So
Nice.
we're about to kind of rev up our engines, which I couldn't be more excited about. I mean, I know I love to sing and create music, but that part, to spread it out, I really like that. So,
Yeah, the big place the club that I had gotten involved with this 10 years ago was Vitello's, the place over in Studio City. And I did a couple record releases with I was doing these kind of concept mini big band albums, like eight horns and rhythm section, doing like folk songs that I tried to transform into weird pieces. I've been working on the railroad and all this kind of junk.
oh,
And I had great bands, and we would sell the place out, mostly because I had like Peter Erskine on drums, and I had Tom Rainier on piano, and I
yeah,
had Bob Shepard on tenor,
yeah.
Wayne Bergeron on trumpet. It was all, I got these incredible guys that played the record, and then they, I was like, could we do a record release at this club? I was like, I'll guarantee you, $200, even though I know we won't make it, and I lost money, of course, on those, but it was, but we packed the place, because
Right.
it was these named guys that
Yeah,
people wanted to see. So,
yeah, yeah,
but that, and then that club went, and then I was like, oh, I don't know where to go now.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of been, it's funny how it is. But nowadays, I keep seeing interesting things popping up, little spaces, creative spaces, clubs.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really interesting. And then, of course, my club it's like one of the best listening rooms in the city. It's
I'm gonna have to
intimate.
get out there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
intimate. There's like 40, it holds 40 people.
Uh,
It's a small stage, whole back line, lights, sound.
it sounds bigger, a lot bigger than Baked Potato.
No, the baked potato holds.
Does it really? God,
Oh,
I was just there a couple weeks ago, seeing John DeVerse's big band, and the big band takes up half the room, So it
then
was
it
like,
feels small, actually. Yeah,
yeah, it was like, wow, this place is so small,
yeah.
like,
No, but no, it's really intimate, and it's the perfect listening room. And the
yeah.
shows are an hour and a half. It's great. If you can come on the 25th to see the moment, I would love it if you felt like coming and sitting in on one of our
Oh,
improvised.
wow.
You don't have
Okay.
to know any
Yeah.
music.
So that
We would
what
improvise.
time? That's the 25th,
Yeah, it's 7 to 8:30.
7 to 8:30.
Yeah,
Putting it on the calendar now.
cool. You'll love it. You'll love it, and yeah, I would love it if you would sit in. It would be really fun.
Cool. I'm there.
Oh, cool, cool. Um, let's see. What else have we not talked about? Um,
uh,
yeah, you see how I am. It's a very casual conversation, but I enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
What I really like is just finding out what people's perspectives are, you know. And since I've been doing this, I realized it's kind of a realization, but there are so many of us across the planet who are creating,
Yeah.
and we actually keep the planet turning. You know, really. I mean, in another universe, we would be forefront, you know, and all the other shit would be
Yeah.
back.
Well, I just feel like for me, I've gotten to a point where, I put in my time doing what I call the music day job, which was, music preparation and orchestration, doing other people's music and,
Yeah.
helping get it, you know, assembled and put together and realized. And after doing that and I just cranked for like 25 years doing that. And I finally got to a point where I'm like, I had a couple of friends one of the places I worked steady was the Disney office for this guy Booker White, who's a great guy, and but two of the people that were a couple of years older than me passed away while I was working there with them,
Oh,
and I reached a point of like, I don't want to be the next one, and I got to get out of here because just making money, like, isn't it? That's not like I want some time to like explore, like, and not necessarily going on trips, but I mean, but exploring creative ideas and things. And so I retired from there, and it was kind of scary at first. It took me like over a year to decompress from just daily, like, okay, what's the emergency today? To like, oh, I just watched TV for a year, and then I started getting depressed. Like, well, hey, I thought I was going to do this stuff, and that's when I got this idea about taking drum solos from Brock and
wow.
and writing music to him, and that took like 2 years of like full time, like, oh, I can do this, and it just like brought joy back into my life, and I was like, this is what I've been missing for all these years,
Yeah. That's amazing.
So I'm just kind of like, I'm at a point now where it's like if it ain't fun, I don't want to do it. It's like I got plenty of things to entertain me here.
Yeah.
Writing and practicing. I've been learning double reeds now since the pandemic because we were all stuck in our places. I was like, I'm going to buy an oboe and I'm going to learn oboe. And so I got an oboe and then an English horn. And then I used to play when I was a kid. I played bassoon in high school. I was the nerd and I played bassoon. And we had a really good high school orchestra and we did great pieces like Symphony Fantastique by Berlioz and a lot of, pretty big works and stuff. But once I went to Berkeley, I was like, bassoon is like a full-time endeavor. It's like, to me, it's the hardest woodwind there is.
Huh.
And so, but when I was doing that shows in Germany, I happened to go in Hamburg to a secondhand shop, pawn shop, and there was this cooler bassoon sitting there, and I was like, I looked at it and go, this looks pretty good. And bassoons are super expensive. And so I asked the pawn guy, I go like, what do you want for that? And he was like, $500. You can never buy a bassoon for $500. And so I said, okay. And we had a bassoonist in the orchestra that I was playing with. So I said, can I'll give you the money. Can I just because I don't even know if it's playing well or not. Can I just have it checked out? And so the bassoonist played, and she goes, yeah, this is an all right bassoon. It's not like a high end one. And I go, but it's $500. And she was like, yeah, well, that's like, buy it now. So I bought it and I brought it back. But when I came to LA, a lot of guys were saying to me like, hey man, you know, you need to learn like, Iwi or, the synth woodwind thing, because like they're not hiring bassoon players for stuff much anymore, which is nonsense. But anyway, so I started back on bassoon after a couple of years of starting to get going on oboe. And so now I'm literally playing from, like I said, flute family, from piccolo to contrabass flute, from piccolo clarinet to contrabass clarinet, all the saxophones from sopranino to bass, and all these, oboe, English horn, bass oboe. I even got a contrabassoon from Doug Webb. So, so I've lost my mind, I'm like, because it's like there's just not enough hours in the day just trying to, get better at these instruments, So
Yeah. Wow. That's a deep story, actually. That's really deep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And bassoon, yeah. And the double reeds kind of mess with your head, don't they?
Oh, they're the hardest. Yeah, I thought oboe was hard, and then I got the bassoon. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I stopped playing this, because the fingerings make no sense.
Really?
Yeah, like saxophone is a breeze compared to bassoon, because especially when you get in the upper octaves, you have to do these really weird combinations, because it's all based off harmonics, of like all you're doing is you're taking this big piece of tube and playing different things. Your thumb, you use your thumb for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 keys. So you're doing this all the time.
Oh my
And then
God.
same thing on this hand. This thumb only does about 4 keys, but
So is it kind of you're thinking kind of separately, like each hand is unique?
you just have to. That's the thing. You have to practice it over and over to just get to where you can just play a scale, like just like da, 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 it's like really a challenge on bassoon. And the reeds are also, with the double reeds, with a clarinet or a saxophone, a reasonably good reed, you can get a sound and whatever. But with double reeds, and I don't want to. I as I got into it, I'm like, look, I don't have time to get into making the reeds. It's like that's like a whole art form into itself. So I've luckily found some people. I've got a bassoon teacher, Lisa Callan, who makes incredible bassoon reeds. So I just buy them from her, yeah, because it's like I'd be spending 20 hours a week just whittling reeds and stuff. And it's like, no, I don't have time for that.
Oh my God. Yesterday I went to a musical tribute to Ron Eschte, who passed away a
Oh,
few weeks ago. So sad about that. But it was down in Long Beach, and an old friend, Dewey Ernie, singer, really nice standard singer, and he was playing with Tom Rainier and Luther Hughes and Kendall Kay, and
oh yeah, that's a great band.
yeah, and Tom, there was one point where I was kind of fascinated because Tom, it sounded like there was a bow going on, and there wasn't. So Tom was playing something in his left hand that emulated a bow on the piano. And
An acoustic piano?
yeah,
Well,
I,
Tom's got amazing touch. I mean,
yeah,
I just love the way he plays. I mean,
yeah,
he's like on another planet. He's
yeah,
like people just don't realize how good he is.
yeah.
And I
Well,
mean,
that was
most
one
people
of
do.
those
I mean,
moments.
he is one of the most in
Yeah,
demand piano players. He
but
and
that
Mike
was
Lang were the two guys.
oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
playing. Oh
yeah.
God,
I love Mike's playing too.
he was amazing. Yeah, he was a very unique player,
Yeah,
and I loved him as a person. He was great.
yeah,
I actually interviewed him, but I mean, I knew him too. But
yeah.
yes,
He's a great
anyway,
guy.
oh, amazing. But this one
So what
song, or
was he doing on the to get a bowed
I'm
thing?
not sure because I wasn't in front of him, so I couldn't actually see. But what I imagined was he had this feeling or knowledge of playing with a touch or something, playing those notes that kind of
Interesting.
the
Yeah.
rang the string, because
Yeah.
I was like, I looked at
I
Luther
mean,
and
he
he was
wasn't
not
touching the
playing.
strings, was he? He wasn't like
No,
rubbing
because
on.
he was actually playing.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, maybe he was doing it with his left hand. I don't know, but it was weird. It was like, what the heck is going on? And I kept listening, and it's like, but Luther is not playing. So
Wow.
it
That's
was
weird.
beautiful, beautiful. I'll send him a message and say, what the heck were you doing?
Yeah. 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 Tom is just a genius. I mean, he is something.
He
And
does
man, can he
live in a
read?
different
He can
plane.
read anything you put in front of him, you know?
Yeah, he and Mike Lang was like that. That was why he was so good in the studio, because anything you put in front of him, he makes gorgeous right away. Like
Yeah.
as soon as it comes out, it's like he's been playing it for a long
I was doing some orchestrations at one point for Van Dyke Parks.
time.
He was doing some film stuff, and we did this one thing. It was a TV thing, and we were at Capitol, and Mike was always Mike on piano for Van Dyke generally, and I'd written this piano part. I'm not really like a piano player, but I tried thinking like, okay, but I was Van Dyke was like, I want the piano to have everything. I'm like, okay, and so I did this part, and the copyist who was copying it was like, there's no way a piano player is going to play this. And I'm like, well, I was told to give him everything, and so that's what I did. And so we brought it in. Mike Lang sight read it. And I was like, I think I was there, and I like went up to him right after. I said, I'm really sorry about this piano part. He's like, oh, it's no problem. And I'm like, well, I know I probably wrote out of what you can do. He's like, no, I figured it all out. And I was like, you are God,
Totally, totally. Yeah, he was such a cool guy too.
Yeah,
Really, really nice person.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I feel inclined to play something for you. Um, it's not your stuff, but it's, but I
I'd
kind
love to hear it.
so speaking of Van Dyke Parks,
Ah,
so let me see if I can bring it up fast. Log in, whatever. Yeah, signing me in. Sign in. Yep. Sign in, whatever you want to do. Oh gosh, can't stand the passkey thing. Okay, so let's see. All files. This is not me. This is not what I want. It is somebody else. Cathy. Yeah, there's so many things, right? That you have to do. I've kind of been, leaning towards Google for everything, but it doesn't always work, right?
no, nothing
So,
always works.
okay, so this is, so sorry to take time, but you're going to like this. And Dropbox, okay. And remember me on
So-
Dropbox.
So this is a Van Dyke Parks piece, or
Yes. um, lately everything's been asking for a sign-in,
yeah,
and
I hate that.
I just don't understand what happened. It's like, do we have to do it that way?
Did you like clear your cookies or something at some point?
Well, maybe I did. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you do that, then it's like, oh God, now I gotta re-sign into everything.
Yeah. I did find it. Okay, now it would be under, let's see. What is his name? Oh, yeah. Okay. Tim Weston.
Oh.
So Tim Weston did these two records of Hammerstein and Rogers.
Oh.
So he did some beautiful songs. One of my favorites was This Nearly Was Mine with Mark Murphy singing it, and Nan Schwartz did the arrangement.
Oh,
So
I know Nan, yeah. She's great.
oh God, and this is gorgeous, but I should probably send you the link to this whole little thing. But so each song was arranged by somebody different. So
Okay.
so this song that I didn't know about. It was called Everybody's Got a Home But Me.
Oh,
I'd never heard that standard, and I know a lot of standards. And
I don't know that one either.
wow. And Van Dyke Parks was the arranger, and
Uh-huh.
it's supposed to be a singer, a rock singer, who just couldn't cut it. So they got a singer named Nancy King.
I don't know her.
Okay, so somebody like me absolutely knew of her. She lived in Oregon. She didn't read, but she was an amazing jazz singer. And anyway, long story about her. But so I just had to play you this because
Yeah.
it's so amazing. Okay, so here we go. This is Everybody's Got a Home But Me, arranged by Van Dyke Parks and sung by Nancy King.
Scooted out of Frisco over Route 101, thunder right as far as San Jose. I rode aboard a Greyhound till I ran out of dough, landed on my can in Monterey. But I seen a lot of things along the way, and I did a lot of thinking on the way. I rode by a house with the windows lighted up, looking brighter than a Christmas tree. And I said to myself, as I rode by myself, everybody's got a home but me. I rode by a house where the moon was on the porch, and a girl was on her fella's knee. And I said to myself, as I rode by myself, everybody's got a home but me. I'm free and I'm happy to be free. To be free in the way I want to be. But once in a while, when the road is kind of dark and the end is kind of hard to see, I look up and I cry to a cloud passing by. When will the rigging of a new TV. And I said to myself, as I rode by myself, everybody's got a home but me. Everybody's got a home with me.
Isn't that great?
That's fantastic. So it was a Van Dyke arrangement, but Nan Schwartz did
No,
the.
no,
Or,
there were, each song had a different arranger.
okay.
So Nan did This Nearly Was Mine, which is, besides this one, that one is my favorite because
Oh, okay.
it's gorgeous. And Mark Murphy, it's perfect. You know, it's
Okay.
just,
But this one was Van Dyke.
yeah.
Arranged it. It was, I could tell. Van Dyke's got a really interesting chromatic thing that he does, where he's like always kind of wiggling around with
Yeah.
harmony chromatically, just chromatically moving things around.
And
He was
that's,
really into Louis Gottschalk. Yeah,
Oh.
the composer from, I think he was from South America, and he wrote a lot of contemporary things.
oh,
Not content. I mean, more. It was like, it was like 100 years ago, but it was
yeah.
really cutting edge at the time. He wrote a lot of like Latin kind of things, like rumbas and tangos, but they were like classical pieces. But the harmony stuff was so cool. And I remember I heard something that Van Dyke had done, and I said like, oh, that sounds like a Louis Gottschalk thing. He's like, look, Gottschalk, he's my hero. And he was just like all excited about that I knew about Gottschalk. And and so he's a trippy guy.
I think he was he playing or something at vibrato or somewhat recently, or maybe
Oh, really?
or something. Yeah. And I wanted to go, but I couldn't because I had club duties. But yeah, you don't see his name out there really.
No, not much.
Yeah, yeah. So, so what do you do with your time right now?
Well, mostly I've been working on this project for the last several months of this thing for 50 woodwinds. It's just like kind of like an orchestra of woodwinds, and recording. First, I composed all the stuff and orchestrated, and then I got all the parts done, and then I recorded myself doing all the parts, and then now Brock's got some of them, and now I'm mixing them. So that's going to be done. I'm going to start on a second volume. I've been kind of sketching some ideas, new ideas of things I want to do. So I'm doing that. And
Excuse me, are you still in this? Are you still writing to Brock's drumming, or
no, this is all like my writing.
yeah,
It's compositions I've written. Although I did take one improvisation that he and I, because when I did the original stuff with Brock, he just came and played solos, and then I wrote music to his rhythms and whatever, and kind of said, "Oh, let me try and get a bass line figured out for this or whatever."
yeah.
But with what we started then doing was playing duets and recording ourselves.
Oh.
So we've been doing that for like 3 years now. Like once a week we get together and just improvise. And so there's been a few that really were pretty good, and one really over the last couple of years that we both were like, wow, we were really in sync on this one. So I took one of those, and then I wrote a bunch of 50 woodwind parts to play along with it, and that was challenging. And so that's one of the pieces, but all the rest are pieces that are very more traditional. Some of them almost sound like kind of like if I was good enough, like a Pat Metheny kind of, those really rich harmony, melodic things that he does. I love that stuff. So I wrote a couple of things like that, one called Ascension, and then others are just these. I don't know what they are. They're not jazz. They're not classical. There's some kind of weird fusion thing where some of them don't even have improvised solos. They're just like written things. One right now Brock's working on, the drum part too, is called Bouncing Balls. And so I've got 50 woodwinds going beep-ball, 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 and it's all based on major seventh intervals. And so they're just jumbling around, and it's I don't know, it could be the worst thing I've ever done, but I'm feeling pretty good about some of it. So
Sounds fascinating. It sounds like it should be a movie too. You know?
Well, that's the thing. I've always had people say to me that you should be a film composer because you really I visualize, things going on when it's.
Well, maybe it's a movie made to your music, though.
Yeah.
The other way around.
Well, that's what I have done with some of the like that Emma's Dilemma, and I've got about a half dozen, one called Madness, one called Echolalia, that are all things where I collect weird objects and toys and stuff. And so I have toys. Basically, my idea was like, well, instead of hiring a dance troupe and having them dance to and figure out what the hell I'm doing, I'll just sit here. And so I set up a little photo studio thing with my iPhone and with a clicker, and I'm just taking picture, of like a figure going like this, and then I move my hand and then I move it up and down. And then I, put them, I've got to sit there with Photoshop or Premiere, I should say, and put them all in and make a stop motion kind of video. So Madness is one of the better ones I did with that, where I used like a golem character from Lord of the Rings, and then some other weird monsters and things, and they're all just kind of dancing around together to the rhythm of the music, because again, it's Brock's improvised thing, so it's very stream of consciousness. So even the visuals are kind of stream of consciousness. They're just kind of, it's like I tried to be the choreographer of like, if the drums are going bit-up, 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 da-da, I'm having somebody doing that, Wow. So I don't know. I also do it very I'm into this thing of making it look primitive, like a child made it. So that it's got this kind of weird thing to it of like, well, it's not as tight as like CGI and all that. And it's like, I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like a 5-year-old got his dad's camera and took a bunch of pictures and then did a flip book with it, kind of thing.
But that's a certain kind of creativity that's really cool, right?
I like it.
Yeah. And
I enjoy it.
I was going to go over to YouTube because I did see that. What was it called again?
Madness.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty short one. I think it's only a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes long.
Madness. It's in the animated music thing.
Try our team for some.
Yes. Should be, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all kind of done during the pandemic. This is what I did with my pandemic vacation.
I started this series on the day of the pandemic.
Oh, perfect.
And you're number 679.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna look at Madness here. Madness, here we are.
So that's madness.
Oh my God, Frank, that is so cool. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
these
incredible.
things take me like months to put together because I don't know what I'm doing with the video stuff. I'm like learning as I go along. So like I got all those little creatures, that were look like
Yeah.
worms. We call them wormies. I saw on Etsy some woman like made those, and I was like, I got in touch with her. I said, "Hey, could you make me like 30 of those?" Like she wanted like $20 each. I go, could you give me a deal if I got 30 of them? And I want but they should all have different like eye colors and different expressions. And she's like, sure, 30. Yeah, I love to, And so we worked the deal out. And so she sent them all to me. And so but I wanted to change their expressions, like their mouth, have their mouths move. And so I had to do a deep dive in Photoshop to figure out how there's the thing where you can like kind of pull things apart, and stretch them. And so I just was just like took forever, but it's a good learning thing too. I like feel like I've mastered some weird parts of Photoshop that nobody ever would want to know about.
Also, there's something good. I've made little videos, but there's something very similar for me, like of being in a studio and working. That kind of quality of action, the feeling of it.
Yeah,
It's like working on the movie stuff. It's
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So it keeps me off the streets,
And that's important because nobody
Well,
wants to.
yeah,
Hey, it's
if
Frank.
we can't entertain ourselves, what can we do?
Right. Wow. Okay, so that's what you've been working on, that kind of stuff you've been working on for a few years now.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of took a break from doing the videos because I was getting back into writing some new music, and it was like I got to sleep a few hours, and so yeah, and I'm getting older. It's like I need my afternoon naps or I get cranky.
Yeah. So, and so are you, like, I'm just trying to understand are you writing strictly for yourself right now, or are
Yeah,
you writing yeah, okay.
yeah.
So,
I'm not. And people, I have friends go like, you got to get somebody to like put this stuff out and get it out there, and I'm like, I don't care. I just want to do it.
yeah,
I don't want to do the marketing thing. I did that for years when I was, I'm working, trying to make a living, and I'm trying to put albums out during that time. And it's like, oh, I got to put an ad in Downbeat, and it's like, how much those ads cost, and it's like, oh, I
and
think I
why?
sold 14 albums by
Yeah,
putting an ad in there.
I
It was
know.
like, this is not a way to spend my money. I'd rather just buy an instrument and learn to play it
Yeah,
than
I
that.
know that's so true. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of of course, that's what so many artists, are confronted with,
Oh, yeah.
the marketing and the promoting and the
I
creating.
just always hated it, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's like I would do it, but I was just like, I should be practicing or I should be writing some, yeah, but instead I'm sitting here putting
yeah.
a catalog together of, people to send stuff to. And I'm like, I hate this.
I know, I know. That's really that's like a huge thing, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
how do you, that's why I was saying before, like on another planet, we would have the premier position and government would support us because we would be reflecting what is going on in,
Right. Right.
but of course that planet isn't here.
Well, and it's
So,
interesting because there used to be more of that with like the National Endowment for the Arts. I
yeah.
actually got one of those when I was like, I don't know, 20 or 21 for a
Oh,
few
really?
$1,000. And I was like,
Yeah,
wow, this is great. They're like paying me to write music,
yeah,
but that's really, there's only a few people I know who get those kind of things anymore. And that's like a full-time job. They usually have to hire someone who knows how to apply for like a Pulitzer or this or that. Like a good friend of mine, Billy Childs, he's gotten these kind of scholarships, or not scholarship, but awards, like
yeah.
writing awards and whatever. And and he's an incredible composer and
He is. Yeah.
player and genius. But it's like I'm so envious of him because I think there's people that are
Work for him. Yeah.
doing that for him, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. I think he focuses on his art so much,
yeah,
and yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's good. He's able to do that. And, it's like we were saying before, you look at how you've lived and what you've done and what's brought you to now and what is now.
yeah,
And, um, if you want to live a happy life, then you allow it to be, and
yeah,
you hook into the, whatever the channel, or it's just, and otherwise you're not gonna be happy,
yeah,
and it's just not worth it. It's like,
yeah,
why be alive and not be happy,
right,
if you have a choice.
yeah. Well,
So
that's the thing. I really truly, I was just telling a friend of mine the other day that it's like in the last few years I've been, I think, the happiest I've been in my life, because when I was really little, when I was like 6 years old, I had like a bunch of toys I'd just play with, and I'd make up scenes and stuff, and and then I had a little toy keyboard, and I bang out little things on it that didn't know anything about music really, but I've had fun with it and whatever. And I was really happy then. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, you've got to make a living and you got to do these things, and I wanted to be responsible and do all that stuff. And so I did it all, and I did it for a lot of years, like nonstop, practically, like day and night. As Mike Hatfield and I would say, it's like I never met a gig I didn't take, and I just, now I'm so happy because now I can, when people call up at times and they go, "Hey, you want to do this thing?" and I'm like, no, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I've had a bunch of people call me and go, "Hey, you want to copy some music?" And I'm like, I don't do that anymore. Like, I'd rather read a book.
I love that. That is so cool. That's
So
so great.
I
Yeah.
feel very lucky that I was able to get to the point through that hard work on other people's music to allow me to just go, hey, I'm gonna like stop the rat race thing here and just
Yeah.
have fun. Yeah. So
That's so cool. That's great. Yeah, I mean, that's a real obvious lesson for you. I was just kind of flashing on a little comparison, but mine's nothing like yours, except there's a certain quality. But now when I go out to hear music, I'm surprised at what I don't like. Like I go to something because I think, oh, I'm going to like this. I go there, and it's like sometimes I leave. I actually sneak out because it bugs me. You
Right.
know,
I get you. I totally get you on that. Yeah.
yeah. I would almost rather like sit and listen sometimes to a workshop with, mediocre singers who are trying their best to be beautiful and enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm not bummed out by that at all. I love that, because people are in it, heart and soul.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they're going for something, and it's you're
Yeah.
trying to help them with it, or
Yeah.
just experience that with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we try to get my wife and I try to get to the LA Phil once or twice a month if we can and can
Yeah.
afford it. But to hear, especially if there's new music pieces, I'm like, I don't know who this is, but I want to go hear it.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's amazing. In fact, one of the best concerts of my life was about a year ago. This woman, composer Ellen Reed, I think her name was, wrote this new work for the LA Phil. And it was like 40 minutes long. And the whole time I was just sitting there like, oh my God, I can't believe it. What I'm hearing is so incredible, and I'd look over at my wife and my son, and they were both like, this is like incredible, and yeah, it was the piece that was like the four elements or something like that, or like fire, light, earth, and that kind of thing. But the way she wrote, I've never heard any music like that before in my life, and I was like just blown away. And but then we, like a few weeks later, it was like, oh, we're going to go see another new thing, and it was terrible. I can't even remember who the composer was, but it was just super pretentious, and there was just for me, there was nothing in it that made me go, ooh, because I want to go, ooh, I want to go, wow, this is like blowing my mind,
Yeah.
Something that I was shocked. A neighbor of mine plays flute with the LA Opera, and so she got us some tickets to see Mozart's The Magic Flute. And they're doing this whole new have you seen this, by the way?
Yeah.
Doing a whole new thing with it where I've never seen anything like this. I think it's some guys from Europe put this together. The whole thing is done with a animated, it's like a big panel comes down and there's like 6 doors, and the different the singers come open a door, and they've got these weird costumes on, and they're doing the whole opera, but it's telling the story of the opera, but it's super surreal. And it's like the artwork, it kind of reminds me of a cross between like Robert Crumb and I don't know who else, but it was just really wild and edgy. And because I kind of went going like, yeah, Magic Flute, Mozart. Yeah. I'm the first to tell you Mozart's biggest genius probably it's ever lived. However, I know his music. Yeah. I've heard it a million. I was like, but this production of it was so good that I just was like, wow, this is just giving me so many ideas of things you could do,
Wow.
Yeah, if you get a chance, they're playing it, I think, a couple more times. And, I was kind of like, yeah, opera singers doing it, whatever. But since I got a free ticket, I was like, well, sure, I'll go check it out.
Is this the Dorothy Chandler or Disney?
Yeah, Dorothy Chandler.
Yeah.
And it's a trip, too, because they got this thing, the stage goes up about, I don't know, 30 feet or something. And these people come out and they've just got a little step to stand on, and they're like 20 feet up in the air, and they're singing, and they're all costumed out and everything. And I'm like, because I got a fear of heights, I was like, God, I hope nobody falls, And it's like, I don't think I could take that. And they didn't, luckily. So
that would freak me out too, actually.
Yeah, I was like, But
That sounds fascinating, and Ellen Reed sounds fascinating too. I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah. If you get a
check her
chance,
out.
I don't know. Again, it's just me and what I like, and you know, other people may just be like, "That's just weird, Frank."
You know,
But my
I
wife, who's a little bit more traditional in her music tastes than me, she was like,
she loved
she was like, "Oh my God, that was amazing!" I've never heard anything like that
it.
because
Wow.
the way the orchestra played, it was like, and Dudamel was conducting it, and
Oh,
it was like, how do they even know? Because they're playing rhythms on top of each other, and it was like, it was just stunning. You know what I mean? Yeah.
sounds fabulous.
I hope they come out with a recording of it. It was a huge orchestra too. I mean, it had to be over 100 players. I mean, tons of percussion, triple woodwinds, full brass. It was just something else.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. I highly recommend if you get a chance to see that again.
I am definitely going to look for that. Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna I'm gonna close down here a little
Yeah,
bit. It's been about 2 hours, believe it or
yeah,
not. And but
yeah. You get me talking.
it's so much fun to talk to you. And Mike, of course, knew
Yeah,
that we would have a good time together. So um, it's interesting our kind of history that never kind of crossed over,
I
but
know, I
had
know.
pieces connected. It's
Yeah.
really interesting. Yeah. So I hope I see you this week, maybe tonight, maybe next Thursday, not this
Yeah,
Thursday,
I'm
but
not sure about tonight. I got some stuff going on, but I wrote down the one uh, for next
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to hold me to playing if you
No, no, believe me, it'll be fun and the whole band would love it because everybody's into, everybody's open and
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it'd be
Okay,
really fun. I'd love it.
great.
So thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a really nice interview, right? Yeah, 679. Yeah, I'm impressed. And then next week, I've been going back and doing like one a week normally. So maybe I have this piano player singer named Champion Fulton from New York. She's really good. She's kind of like a Diana Krall.
I've heard that name. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
really strong player. So thanks,
Cool.
Frank. It's been really fun. Oh my gosh, I
Oh,
really
my
enjoyed it.
pleasure. And sorry I blabbed on so much.
No, I mean, that's what it is. It's an interview, so we had fun.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk soon.